loves, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie, and guys, something that I know has been on your mind, that's been on my mind for a little bit, I've been trying to figure out what is going on with the investigation in Australia. If you remember from my coverage, and as well as a lot of people have been putting out videos about this, after the trial with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, where Amber Heard ceremoniously lost, as we're all aware, it had come out that she had lied. She had lied at the UK trial, and more importantly, most importantly, I think, not to say the UK isn't important, but Australia, when she ended up having to get her dogs Pistol and Boo. She brought them over on the airplane, and then she didn't declare them. Lots of lies, which meant perjury. Now, the Australian government has been very upset about the situation because not only that, she was mocking them, she was making fun of them, and she had lied. She committed perjury. So we had been hearing that they are coming after her, and then for the last couple weeks, it's been lots of silence, but we have an update. It looks like the Australian government is still going after her. There is still an active investigation and things are happening, and we're gonna get into all of that today. But before we do, guys, if you're new, hi, how are you? My name is Katie on this channel. I just like to talk about all the trending topics and laugh and giggle at how stupid a lot of it is and see what we can get from it. You know, we don't hear anything about Ghislaine Maxwell, a plane, Jeff, a little black book, and an island, but we're force-fed Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And look, I'm entertained by it just as much as you guys are, but it's all stupid, and we're gonna laugh. However, it is nice to see somebody who has misused something like Me Too, which I think Me Too, it is an important movement. However, you have people like amberturd that completely ruin it and make it worse for for women and survivors to actually get the help they need and raise their voices. So we're gonna dive into all of this. And if you like content like this, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Would love to have you. Leave me a like, everything helps. Side note, right when I started filming, part of my dress broke over here. So this is gonna be a real fun little getup, but you know what? It took me 30 minutes to pick out. I'm rocking it. We're gonna do it. Y'all know I'm half a mess, but that's also why you like me. So where are we at? Let me give you guys a little overview and tell you exactly what's happening. So when it comes to perjury, what we've been hearing, there's a guy named Barnaby Joyce, who is one of my favorite people on the planet now. So he was the former Minister of Agriculture in Australia when all this is going on. And he is now a politician, political figure over there. And he has been saying they want to get Amber Heard back over there, and they want to get her for perjury. They want to get this retried. So in Australia, guys, and I didn't realize this because I'm not a real, when I say I'm not a real sciencey person, like I love science, I love like the quantum sciences, right? The stuff where you're merging like spirituality and science and the new sciences, the cutting edge stuff. I love stuff like that. But with that being said, I don't have a super logical mind for some of it. That's gotten better over the years. Like, okay, so in school, I was like a superstar go-getter, but I got 1 D grade my whole life, and it was a D-, and it was in geometry. F those shapes. Okay, those shapes don't talk back to me. We can't tickle each other. I don't understand it. It's the same with me and math. By the way, I'm not putting down anybody. If you're good with numbers, fantastic. I'm happy for your intelligence. That is not intelligence that I have. But it's not something when it comes to like the ecosystems, right? Not something I've really studied a lot. But apparently in Australia, it's a really big deal for you not to declare your animals because they have such an interesting situation because yes, they're a continent, but they're a continent island, which means anything that you introduce can be devastating to not just the country, but the whole economy. Like they don't have certain illnesses and diseases that we have, and it would desecrate them. So they are more of a protected situation. So it's very important, even if it's just dogs or cats, that you have to declare any animals that come through, which is why this is such a big deal. Well, it looks like the investigation is still active because the last time we've heard from Barnaby Joyce about all this, Barnaby had said, we are working with the FBI. We've done everything on our end at this point. Now we're waiting for the FBI to do their part. But it looks like that is happening. So let me tell you what we have found. A Twitter user decided to, with the Freedom of Information Request Act, request information on what is going on, which good on you. Her name is Paris something. I'll show you here. And then the real Laura B picked it up. Others have picked it up and they're dissecting it. And we're gonna get into exactly where we are at with that. And this comes from Paris2804 who did this. Now this tweet though is from the real Laura B. It says, small but important update from Australia. From a recent FOI, Freedom of Information, inquiry by Paris 2804, she received a letter that witness statements have been cut collected. We got witness statements, hashtag Doggygate, hashtag Amber Heard is alive. By the way, I love the real Laura B. Apparently she has a YouTube channel. She just started it like a couple-ish months ago. I love her. Not only is she so informative, I don't know, she has like a nice calming personality to her, right? I don't know, I dig her. So, hey Laura, hey, not that she's gonna watch this, but it says, the department recently obtained the support of Commonwealth and other, what is going on with me? Other overseas law enforcement agencies, and advised that witness statements from the United States of America have been obtained. Committing perjury in support of a breach of Australia's biosecurity requirements is seen as a serious breach of Australia's judicial system and processes. Okay, so now let's take a look and see exactly what this says. So here is the letter in its entirety. It says, Miss Paris, I'm going to call it K. Forgive me, girl, if you watch this. Not that she's going to watch this, but I can already tell I'm having a funny day. I'm going to mess it up. So Paris K, much love. And it says, Dear Miss K, thank you for your email to the Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, and Forestry, Senator Dahan Murray Watt, concerning Senator Dahan Murray Watt. Is that somebody's name? Dahan. By the way, no disrespect, because maybe that's a native thing or something there. I've just never heard of the Han. So that's my ignorance. Please forgive me. I wanted to make sure I'm like, am I reading it correctly? That's my thing. No disrespect. It says, concerning Amber Heard's investigation, Minister Watt has asked me to thank you for your correspondence and to reply on his behalf. The department previously completed an investigation into the 2015 importation of 2 dogs, Pistol and Boo, owned by Hollywood actor Johnny Depp and his then-wife, Amber Heard. During the sentencing proceedings, Ms. Heard's legal representative tendered a range of material, including an affidavit of Ms. Heard and a statutory declaration of Mr. Kevin Murphy. Information has since come to hand via the London libel case that Ms. Heard may have provided false testimony to the court in relation to her knowledge of Australia's biosecurity laws, and that Mr. Murphy falsified a statutory declaration under duress of losing his job. Just makes me mad reading this. The department recently obtained a support of Commonwealth and other overseas law enforcement agencies and advised that witness statements from the United States of America have been obtained. Yes! Committing perjury in support of a breach of Australia's biosecurity requirements is seen as a serious breach of Australia's judicial system and processes. I cannot comment further as this matter is an ongoing investigation. Love it! Thank you again for bringing your concern to the government's attention, and yours sincerely, Nick Medway, Assistant Secretary, Investigations Branch, Compliance and Enforcement, Department of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Forestry. So, not only is it an open and active, again my mouth, sorry, investigation, guys, it looks like they've collected witness statements. Now, it would make sense because I believe so part of this, guys, you remember the story, is that Amber made her assistants lie or threaten that they were going to lose their jobs. I believe one of them was Australian. So it does, or has ties to Australia. So it does make sense that in that situation, it's easier for them, especially with that person most likely being an Aussie or having those ties, to get witness statements there. But this shows they're gathering the evidence. They're actually going after this, which I absolutely love. Now, this part is a little bit irritating, but I can also understand it as I've been on this side of YouTube. So Paris also had put up, and she said something about basically people have been saying this is fake, right? So she said, hey, there's the phone number, call yourself. And then she made this tweet, which I did think it's funny, but my heart goes out to her because I've been in this position on YouTube where it's like no matter how much evidence you have and no matter how many facts you have on your side, no matter how much it showcases what you're saying, people will just blindly believe what they want or make things up, but that's people being people, right? So Paris says, my God, at Laura Bachhoff, the real Laura B. Now I understand what you guys go through, no matter how much proof you show. So this is the final proof of authenticity. I will show that the letter that I received, A.H. Amber Heard, is authentic. She says, feel free to share with others who doubt this letter. So this is what it says. You can see right here. If anybody is curious, this is says from Paris something, email address to Minister Watt. Okay, so that's that person, the Han, right? So it says, good morning, Senator Watt. I recently received a reply for information that I requested through the agriculture website online contact page. The letter was in response for an update on the investigation into Amber Heard, and it was signed by your secretary, Nick Medway. The letter wasn't dated, so I have people on Twitter questioning its authenticity because of that. The reference number is, and then they have a reference number, MC22005183. It says, can you please confirm that the letter I received from your office is in fact authentic? I have attached said letter to this email for you to confirm. Kind regards, Paris K. To which we have a response. Request for authorization, brain and mouth today. Request for authentication of letter. And it says, good morning, Paris. I can confirm that this letter is authentic. Mr. Watt asked that the department reply to your query on his behalf. Thank you, Rebecca. So nice. Okay, and there it is, officer for the Han Murray Watt. So it's the Han Murray Watt. I didn't know some people have the of the Han. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anybody who's in Australia understand what that is? And I'm not saying that again, no disrespect, I'm not making fun. I'm genuinely curious because when I don't know, I don't want to mess it up if something happens later. I literally mean no disrespect to people. In fact, this is my way of trying to be respectful. So I'll have to look that up and see. Yeah, interesting. So now, where does all this leave us, guys? I want to show you exactly where this leaves us. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you exactly where this leaves us legally. There's a guy that I like to follow. It's called CA_divorce or Christopher Melcher. So he puts out a lot of this info too, and he says, thank you to Paris for obtaining a letter from the Australian government on the status of the investigation. It was sent today and confirms that the DOJ, FBI have cooperated in obtaining evidence and providing that information to Australian investigators. Now let's see more on what this means. It says, the Australian government needed the help of the U.S. law enforcement because witnesses to the alleged crime reside in the U.S. This important step of gathering evidence from U.S.-based witnesses has been accomplished. Yes, and it says, prosecutors must decide whether to file charges against Amber for lying to prosecutors about her illegal importation of the terriers Boo and Pistol into Australia on April 21st, 2015, and procuring a false declaration that blamed the incident on the assistant. The letter indicates that Australians believe the statement by former DEP assistant Kevin Murphy that he provided a false declaration at Amber's behest under duress of losing his job. It appears to vindicate Murphy's account. Nothing indicates that DEP is in jeopardy. Although he was on the plane with Heard and the dogs, it was Heard who signed the arrival form, falsely stating that there were no pets. This potential prosecution is for Heard telling prosecutors that an assistant was to blame in using a knowingly false declaration for a plea deal in 2016. If charged and convicted, the potential sentence is 14 years. 14, guys. It says, you can see, he basically says that here's a thread. So if you want to go follow him, you want to see more information, you can. He has a whole thread on this. So guys, that's where we're at so far. If anybody was curious, they have actually gotten statements from witnesses, which means, as this said, this shows that the United States is cooperating with Australia, because the last we heard from Barnaby Joyce, he seemed a little frustrated, a little fed up with everything, because he's like, we're doing everything on our end. Now we're just waiting for the United States to do what they need to do. So it looks like everything might be going through. Now, with that being said, where do we go from here? Well, if they decide that they want to prosecute on this, what ends up happening is that an international arrest warrant would be put out for Amber at some point, especially if she were evading this situation, right? Which begs the question, though. So you guys have seen that I put up a video recently where Amber fled the country. Amber is in Tel Aviv right now with Fartla. I can't even say it without laughing because I'm mature. And a lot of people have been speculating with that and her selling her home so quickly and making a profit and just getting out of Dodge. Is she avoiding this? Does she know they are right on her tail? Are we seeing somebody who is literally on the run because they know the Australian government is after them? Because you know that she's going to somehow be able to obtain information maybe from her lawyers, or there are going to be other people where if something's about to go down, she's probably going to get some kind of heads up. And is she going to another country because she feels safer there? Now, in situations like this is what I want to tell you. If they put out an international arrest warrant for her, here's how this goes down. If she were to just try to evade, well, first of all, she would not, there are all these different types of consequences. Like one is now, because she's in a different country now, I don't know how this would work now, but if she were in the United States, she wouldn't be able to travel internationally. That would be done, which actually makes me now wonder more and more if her being overseas has to do with that. Not saying it does, but if we're actually hearing that they are really doing all of this, maybe she wanted to make sure that she wasn't boxed in. But there are other really big implications when it comes to her being able to travel in different countries anyway. It really does box her in with stuff, and she could still get in major trouble with the United States for not cooperating. So here's what happens with most of these celebrities. Most of these people or these celebrities or people who go through this, they end up cooperating because it is the best thing for their best interests to do. Now, they might do it from their own country, maybe a different country. They may phone it in on Zoom or whatever, but they do cooperate because they end up having all these different ramifications and they end up getting boxed in if they don't. So Amber would not be smart if she did not cooperate. However, we are also dealing with Ms. Turd, and her team don't make the wisest looking of choices. Now, what is this going to mean, though? If Australia goes after her and she is trying to appeal her verdict, what does that mean for all of that? Guys, I'm telling you, I don't think this story is over. I think it's going to get juicier over time. And I think we are going to see on some level season 2 of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. It might just be the Amber Heard show, though. I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? Do you think that we are steps closer to actually having Amber have to pay for her crimes? Because think about how much perjury she's already committed between US and UK and Australia. And nothing has happened, but the Aussies, this is why I love Aussies, guys. My first round of YouTube, a lot of my audience was Australian. Hi, Aussies, hi. I love them so much. They greet each other with the curse word, the C word, which is my favorite word on the planet. So these are my people. On top of that, apparently my heritage is a lot of Irish and Scottish, but I'm also a big mutt of stuff. So I learned that a lot of Australia is a bunch of like Scottish criminals. And I'm like, of course they're my people. By the way, please don't be upset with that. That's just the limited history I know from the United States, which probably isn't very good. So, like, again, no disrespect meant to anybody. Hi, Aussies, little C words, hi. But I think it's interesting. I do like to see that maybe we're going to get some justice here on some level. Do you think that she's on the run? And we have an update on her being on the run, and you guys are going to love this, so make sure and stay tuned for the next video. Okay, guys, if you like this video, make sure and like. I would love it. It would greatly help me. Leave a comment as well if you like content like this. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Love to have you around. We can laugh at how stupid all this is. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs, kisses. As always, stay safe, and your girl will see you soon. Bye, guys.